Right, then I'm now here for my Agit Kabayel versus Zhilei Zhang fight preview and prediction now for you guys. And as we know, this big heavyweight fight goes down on the undercard to Artur versus Dimitri Bivol 2. And yes, what a fight it will be. It's for the WBC Interim Heavyweight Championship of the World. I can't wait. And, you know, this has all the making to be possibly fight of the night, although there's bloody many fights that can be fight of the night. Kabayel versus Zhilei Zhang. Going to be interesting. Two guys with big power. Two guys with completely different styles as well, which makes it even more interesting. Who's going to win this fight? I personally think Agit Kabayel is going to win, and I reckon Kabayel will be pretty convincing as well. I think Kabayel will probably stop Zhang. But yeah, let's break it down. Let's see. Let's see how it's going to go. So I think Kabayel will win the fight, but Zhang can win. You can't count him out. He's always got that big left hand as a southpaw, which he sets up very well. I think Kabayel's going to win because I think his style's all wrong for Zhang. I saw a stat earlier, and I didn't actually know it, but apparently Zhang throws the least amount of punches in boxing right now. That might just be heavyweight boxing or boxing. I think it is all boxing. And I think that's really bad when you're going up against someone like Agit Kabayel, when you're a guy with very low output. Kabayel will punish you for that. We saw it against Makhmudov especially, and in ways as well, Makhmudov and Zhang have got similar traits. Zhang's definitely more awkward and probably a lot more clever than what Makhmudov is in the ring. But they've got similar traits. You know, they're both tall guys. They both like to use their range, and they are both low output guys. And we saw what Kabayel did to Makhmudov. It's not going to be that easy for Kabayel like it was for Makhmudov against Zhang. But I feel like Kabayel's going to approach the fight in a similar way to how he fought that fight. And in Kabayel's most recent one as well, we saw how he absolutely destroyed Frank Sanchez. In Zhang's last one as well, fought Deontay Wilder, knocked him out. Before that, lost to Joseph Parker, but before that was coming off two big wins over Joe Joyce. But again, the low output of Zhang still showed. In his loss to Joseph Parker, he literally did nothing in that fight. He did absolutely nothing. That's what let Zhang down. I mean, when he was throwing, he was accurate, and that is the thing with Zhang. He's accurate with his punches when he does throw. When he doesn't throw, though, it's something that lets him down. And I feel like at times as well, Zhang can be predictable for someone like Kabayel. I think as the fight went on with Joseph Parker for Zhang eventually got, when he did start to work a bit more, he was more predictable for Joseph Parker, and Parker figured him out more as the fight went on when Zhang threw, even though he's still ridiculously low output. It can be, it can be a good thing in ways because it can make him more unpredictable at times. But when Zhang does get working, I feel like it's just the same old thing coming from Zhang when he is throwing. We saw this in the Joe Joyce fight. It's just the exact same thing, and you can tell he's always trying to load up on that backhand. And Kabayel's going to see it coming from a mile away. I think Kabayel moves around the ring very, very, very well. And when he wants to, he's able to come in, shut down that gap, and land some bloody good 4-5 punch combinations, which can really put you off. And as well, we know how great the constant body work is from Agit Kabayel when he does come in. And we know for a fact we're going to see body work from Agit Kabayel in this fight. Like, it's obvious. He's the much smaller man. He's going to be using that body work. And, I think he is very good at circling around you, Kabayel, changing angles quite a bit as well. I think his movement is very underrated and very bloody good. And that is something that Zhang's not going to be able to keep up with. Zhang's not going to be able to keep up with the pace that Agit Kabayel wants to fight at in this fight. Zhang fights at a ridiculously slow pace. And against someone like Agit Kabayel, it's not going to work. To beat Kabayel, you need to be a great all-round boxer and try and outsmart Kabayel. Zhang's not going to be able to outsmart Kabayel, and Kabayel will break him down as this fight goes on. Kabayel's really good at being able to drain you. He brutally bullied Frank Sanchez, bullied him badly, and just broke him down slowly, and eventually got the finish. It was a fantastic performance from Agit Kabayel. he breaks you down very slowly. I mean, in his fight against Chisora as well, for example, he's able to break him down, get the better working in that fight. And it's going to happen here, and Kabayel's going to end up stopping Zhang. Zhang is very good at being able to take center ring. That is a good thing about Zhang. He's going to be able to take center ring. I think the thing is with Zhang is because he's so heavy, he's able to, push you back immediately and, gain your respect without even showing you his power because of how heavy he is and the way he walks forward. He is a difficult man to phase, but I think the way Agit Kabayel puts his shots together and breaks you down body to head, it's something that's going to cause Kabayel, it's something that's going to cause Zhang problems because of how Kabayel mixes up his shots very nicely. And he always does different things. Kabayel's unpredictable. He doesn't always do the same thing. But as I said, Zhang can push you back with his backhand. And Zhang is very good at cutting the ring off. I think the difference between Zhang and Kabayel, though, Zhang is a strong guy, but Kabayel can be active in the clinch. And Kabayel actually being the smaller man in this fight, as he usually is, he's always very good at being able to use that to his advantage, being the smaller man in a fight. That's something that, always seems to work well for Agit Kabayel. And that's exactly what's going to happen here, in my opinion. I think with Zhang, he's got that straight left hand, but who knows if that's really going to be able to land on Kabayel with how well Kabayel manages the distance. I think it's going to be really difficult. I mean, I think, some people who are picking Zhang to win are expecting Kabayel to end up walking onto something. But it's just not going to happen. I can't see Zhang timing Kabayel. I think Kabayel's movement's going to be too confusing for him. And I think Kabayel's level changes are too good as well for Zhang to be able to deal with. I honestly don't see Kabayel giving Zhang much time at all. And I think Zhang's going to look even more inactive with even lower input than he looked in that Deontay Wilder fight and the Joseph Parker fight. And Zhang had ridiculously lower output in both of those fights, and he's gonna look even worse here. I think Kabayel has an absolutely dreadful style and an absolutely nightmare style for Zhang to deal with, and I feel like that's something that people just don't see enough. Kabayel is ridiculously awkward for Zhang. He's just very good at using the ring to his advantage as well, moving around it, getting out of range, taking a break here and there as well, feinting at range for when he's going to explode in and come in with some good, set up shots. With Zhang, I feel like his lead hook is good. But again, I just feel like it is a strange one because I think Kabayel might be a bit too small for Zhang to be able to get his work off, to be fair. Because, you look at Zhang's past opponents, Wilder and Zhang very similar in height. Joe Joyce and Zhang very similar in height. Parker and Zhang, Parker was a bit smaller than Zhang in height, but not too much. But with Kabayel, I think he's going to be too small for someone like Zhang. And I think Kabayel's going to be sneaky and his shot's going to be heavy and it's going to drain out Zhang as the fight goes on. I think Kabayel's going to get a stoppage, I'm going to say, in probably rounds 5 or 6, I reckon, for Kabayel. That's what I'm going to say. Call me delusional, but that's what I think. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all in the next one.